Hey there, today I'm just going to have a quick informative chat with you guys here at Saltiness Isn't Bliss, all about cookbooks. So, cookbooks, recipes, they have a way of just kind of bringing us all together and, around the dinner table. Generationally, some of them have been passed down from generation to generation. I've got a little stack of cookbooks here I want to share with you that are my go-tos and the ones that I like to keep in the house. Of course, a great recipe can come from anywhere. It can be passed down, it can just find its way to you, it can come from a magazine, it can come from the internet. And some of the very best ones are written down on little index cards, right? I know that, my grandma, some of her best ones were written on index cards. They had faded, they were abbreviated. You couldn't even make out some of the recipe on there, but yet some of her best recipes that we just, became tradition year after year. That's how she kept them, just on a simple little index card. So the first cookbook I want to share with you, this one is really sentimental. This one is really special. This one, when my grandma-in-law was living in an assisted living, they kind of put this together with all the different people that lived there and what their favorite recipes were, what were things that they had made year after year that they knew by heart. And so they just kind of put it in this book. They divided it by, type of food, but they put it in here and they even listed the person's name and the facility that they were living at on the page. And I just thought that was such a neat way to keep the memory of those recipes alive and keep the legacy of the person who, offered the recipe to the book alive. So that one's really special to me, and I actually use a lot of the recipes, or quite a few recipes out of that one. This one may bring back a lot of memories. So this is just a really old, oldie but a goodie, if you will. This came from Current Magazine, Current Catalog. I'm not even sure if that's still a thing. I think it is. I think they're a little more online now than they used to be. And so this is basically just one of those traditional fix it and forget it crock pot cookbooks. Trying to find, that has the really delicious, make your mouth water pictures throughout. I gotta be honest, I don't use the crock pot as much as I would like to and as much as I should, so I really ought to pull this one out more often. But I just love, that this has been in my family for many years, and it looks brand new. 1989, actually, is the date on the back of this. And it looks brand new. It's held up well. The recipes stand the test of time. So that's the other great thing. Aside from, most recipes calling for a lot of salt being added in. Aside from that, these recipes, they're timeless. There's no part of them that you can't still utilize today. This one is just kind of a fun, unique one. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the TV show featured on the cover here. And this guy, of course. And so this one just has a lot of creativity in it and a lot of unique stories from different places all over the country. So it's just a fun, unique book. And then in the very back here, it's got this huge list of all the restaurants that are featured throughout the book. So that's just kind of a fun, unique one. The recipe that I've used out of here that is on the channel is my turkey burgers with orange marmalade glaze. So that was a great one that I got out of this book. This book I want to share for obvious reasons. So this channel is a reduced sodium cooking channel, and this is a low sodium recipe cookbook. So this was gifted to me, and I've got a lot of ideas here and a lot of pages saved. So I just need to get in the habit of flipping through this a little more often and seeing what it has to offer and then sharing with you those great recipes that are in here. The great thing about this book is that it is just chock full of recipes of every thing you can imagine and every type of food you can imagine, and it gives you these great alternatives and great options and ways in which you can cut down on the salt but still have something that, you know, has soy sauce, but use this instead, which on the channel you've seen I feature coconut aminos, which is a great substitute for soy sauce that is way less salt and yet the same taste, same texture. You almost wouldn't even know it's not soy sauce. So then the other thing I wanted to share is this fun little pouch. So this is just kind of my catch-all for all of my kind of loose recipes. So yes, just like generations before me, I've got stuff just written down on all these scraps of paper, things that I've pulled out of magazines. And there's something about this that I just kind of love, because it's not so organized and perfect. I mean, yes, I have it all stored in here, but it just has that kind of old-fashioned feel that, you know, my mom and my grandma and my aunts, everybody before me, the way that they kind of, you know, kept recipes. And I don't know if any of you have or remember, but they sold the little plastic containers that you could store your recipes in as well. And that probably is how that whole index card came to be, because that's what kind of fit in those boxes perfectly. And then here I've got this great magazine that is all just soups. I'm a huge lover and fan of soups year-round. So as soon as I saw this at the store, I had to buy it. And one of the greats to come out of here is the one on the cover, which is my cheeseburger soup. So check that out if you get a chance on the channel. And then just some other, you know, random odds and ends inside of there. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I just wanted to see if that sparked any special memories or any special, you know, ways in which you've learned to keep or utilize recipes that you've gotten along the way or has been passed down to you. The other thing I remember kind of being a staple in the kitchen when I was growing up is my mom had this hardcover red Betty Crocker cookbook. So I'm curious if any of you still have one, or if you remember that, just kind of being a staple that was just kind of always somewhere nearby, and a lot of times found its way into the kitchen, and just really, you know, helped inspire and create some great meals that we had. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me and, you know, checking out my little stash of recipes and cookbooks and kind of how they look, how I keep them. If you want to share how you keep yours or very special recipes or cookbooks that you've come along that you have found along the way, please share them down below. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.